this transmission has found you, then perhaps it's for a reason. I'll start this transmission with a question. What is the shape of a thought? Really think on that question. And I mean really chew to the bone, because it is an important question. One whose answer will change from person to person. It has very much to do with a second principle I want to impart. In Transmission 2, we talked about learning how to focus your mind. I wish to go more in depth on that subject, and then we'll discuss in more depth what it means to change the shape and frequency of one's thoughts at will. These are the fundamental building blocks to utilizing the rest of the principles I intend to share. 17 seconds. 17 seconds to hold your focus. A concept introduced by Abraham Hicks presents an idea, one that has been proven time and time again. And the idea is that if you can focus on a singular thought for 17 seconds, something miraculous happens. The way the brain operates changes, and the brain, the transceiver for this vessel you're in, starts to emit a notable vibration that only gets stronger after those 17 seconds. The idea is that this vibration operates on the same concept of polarity and magnetism. To illustrate how potent focus can be, I will discuss how a singer can shatter a glass by merely singing. Most would assume it's because they hit a certain pitch that will shatter all glasses, but that's incorrect. You will notice that most singers, before they perform this trick, will tap the glass, causing it to ring out, and then they match that tone with their voice. By matching that frequency, the molecules in that glass begin to vibrate as well. Anyone who has tapped a tuning fork near another tuning fork will know this principle well. They both will begin to vibrate when you only have tapped one. It's through that principle that the glass shatters. With this in mind, we return back to the concept of 17 seconds. You match the frequency with what you think of, and what you think of vibrates back. This is why understanding the exercise meant to teach you how to focus your mind is so important for putting to use with the principles that I will be bringing before you. So continue to practice to the point you can still your mind and focus on anything you wish. Once you can do that with ease, the rest of the steps will come very naturally. This brings us to the second principle, the act of changing your vibration at will. In Transmission 2, I mentioned the toroid, and how important it is as a building block for all of existence. This is, of course, from the micro, from the blood cell, to the apple, to the tree, to the planet, and so on. It's prevalent in all aspects of our lives, and it's prevalent in you. It's through this field that you will be experiencing the new direction I mentioned, the shape of thought, and the shift in vibration. But first, we're going to explain dimensions, and whilst many of you are familiar with this concept, it won't hurt to go over it again before going into the exercise more in depth. There's a conceptual idea utilized to explain the difference between the second and the third and the fourth dimension. This concept is referred to as flatland, a two-dimensional plane where the beings who live there only know forward, back, left, and right. The concept of up and down never occurs to them. They go about their lives in their flat world. Now say you come along, a being who understands how to exist within the paradigm of three dimensions. You can peer down to this flat plane and see inside their homes, outside their homes, everything they do, hell, even what they had for breakfast. And you could simply just observe without them ever knowing you were there to begin with. But let's say you decide to make contact. Let's say you say hello. To them, that voice came out of seemingly nowhere. And the more you speak, the more you scare them, the more they think that they might be going crazy. So you decide that maybe you should show them that you're there. And you pass your finger through their world. But they can't see it for what it really is. It's only two dimensions. So to them, it simply looks like a circle is growing and shrinking in front of them. A very strange experience, and, well, if they decide to go and tell their friends about this event, I'd say it's safe to say there would be 4 comfortable padded walls waiting for them. But now, the two-dimensional being knows there's something more, just outside their view, just outside what they're able to perceive. So they start thinking, start trying to find ways to see this other place that's right there, so close. But because they don't know how to look, they won't see. But the awareness that there's something more is the galvanizing factor for evolution, growth, and change. And we are living in the time of change. I've said it before. You, watching this transmission, do you feel it? A sense of knowing on the horizon, waiting for you just to walk into the sunset. And what's on the other side of that hill? much like that two-dimensional being, is the starting point of understanding the fourth dimension, how your thought interacts with it and exists within it, and how to navigate it. The other principles will teach you how to interact with this dimension in more diverse and varied ways. But for the time being, we start here. The act of moving one's energy through their body is just as easy as moving your hand or your leg. But unlike that, you will not be using your nervous system to make your muscles contract and expand. Instead, you will be using your mind. To start, hold your hand out, palm facing up. If it helps, poke your palm with your other free hand to stimulate some feeling. And now I want you to focus where you just poked. Focus only there. Feel only there. That's where your attention is going. You heard the saying that energy goes where the thoughts go, and that is immensely true, especially now. So focus on that point. Use the focus that you learned earlier. Only focus on that singular point. Focus until that starts to feel almost physical. And now I want you to move it. Move your focus from that point up your arm. Focus to your elbow now. Just focus on your elbow. And then your shoulder. Now go back down to your elbow. Now go back down to your palm. Now I want you to move that focus outside of your palm. Perhaps an inch above it. And now you're feeling something outside of your body. That is the act of moving your anima independent of the vessel you're in currently. And it is the starting point of understanding the shape of thought. When I say the shape of thought, I'm referring to the geometric aspect, the vibrational elements behind each and every thought you have. And each one is complex and higher dimensional in concept. So at the moment, don't sweat the actual geometric proportions of the shape of thought. Just understand it as a concept. Future principles will draw upon this more. As I said in Transmission 2, consider it a yoga of the mind. Now, using that same focus, using that same technique to feel your energy outside your body, I want you to feel this, I'd say an egg shape around your body. It shouldn't be hard to feel, it's already there. It is your own electromagnetic field. Some call it an aura. It doesn't matter what it's called, however, it is very real. Just like your arm or your leg. But it is not actually an egg shape. To say it was egg-shaped is to imply that there's a top and a bottom. But in truth, this is a quantum concept, an energy field that has no beginning or end. It's in a constant state of recycling itself. At least, in a healthy state, it should be. It should be flowing through you. Upwards, outwards, down, and back up. But this world, the dark ones I've mentioned, have put systems in place to cause you to lose connection with this field, to not tend to it, like the muscles atrophying if not being used. But it's this field, and the movement of this field, that will allow you to shift your vibration comfortably with just a mere thought, given the right technique. I explained the sacred spiral in Transmission 2. To clarify, this toroid, this field around you, does not roll in on itself, like a donut folding in. It twists, eternally, infinitely, inward and outward. This is where the names come from for the new directions of movement, vibrationally speaking, within your mind. Ana, kata, within, without, to retract, or to expand. It's why the spiral is an important aspect of everything. It's one and the same with the toroid. And this toroid is the vehicle you can use to traverse these dimensional systems. So you will move up the spiral, out through the toroid to the top of your head, around, back up under your feet, through your root, and so on. Doing this sloughs off negative energy. It sloughs off what I'm sure a lot of you refer to as loosh. Something we'll go more in depth with in another transmission. But for now, practice this. Practice this as hard as you can, as often as you can. It is the first step in your journey towards realizing exactly what you are. You've come so far, and you felt lost, haven't you? At times it felt like this world was going to break you. Perhaps sometimes you swore it did. But amidst amidst all this, you're still here. We're at a point where we feel very much like the first fish that wiggled up on land and realized there was so much more than the waters that they knew. Whatever your mission, whatever your goal, whatever the role is that you are meant to play, you will play it gloriously when the time comes. You are all sparks of creation, and you're in a prison made of tinder. And we all know that all it takes is just one spark. Imagine what all of you can